Okay, now we're recording. Hey guys, Carol Gaming here, and today is the winner of the local Legends Duelist League, Duelist Series even, tournament winners deck. So, on you go, Rory.
Yeah. So BA didn't really get hit at all by the list. They lost to Beatrice, which hurt for me because I pretty much built the deck around Beatrice. Lost one Seer, which is kind of important, but since you can search it and return it with Dante, it's not that important. As long as you get to it.
In the new mat you got.
Mm.
Did you check how much that was worth?
Yeah, I did.
What is it at now?
It's money.
Serious money?
That's all I can say is it's money. Alright. Anyway, yeah, but we also got like one Allure of Darkness and like Pot of Desires, so I figure whether or not the deck's as strong as it was before the ban list, the fact that Monarchs are dead.
Not deadish. Deadish.
Yeah, it's
The same as Cosmo.
Not so much dead as cut in half, but like they were so strong to begin with that like, yeah. But no, Burning Abyss weren't hit as much as they probably even should have been. So yeah, they're probably the best deck right now, whatever variant you use.
Infernoid, you know.
Yeah, your Infernoid deck. That's more Infernoid taking advantage of the BA engine. The PK Fire engine is fine, but I prefer the Kaiju engine because, in my opinion, the PK is a bit inconsistent and the Phantom Knight cards only do what the Burning Abyss cards do, whereas the Kaijus let you out things you can't normally out, and there's lots of situations where the Kaijus actually like really help you make a game, like twice in the finals, like the Kaiju cards were how I won. Anyway, Burning Abyss engine, one Seer, obviously, one Graph, obviously. I play one Barber. Some people play more than one Barber. I find that one's fine. If I ever need to Barber again, Dante's, Beatrice's, Seers, all the revival cards.
Just the deck has revival.
Yeah. I actually run a pretty low Burning Abyss count. It's 13 Burning Abyss monsters, but when you add in like tour guides, rhinos, and stuff like that, you see them pretty much all the time. One Calcab for bouncing, one Aelec for when you don't have Farfa. One Libic, it's a name, it's a different name, but sometimes its effect is useful.
I love that card, so good.
It's mostly for staying alive.
Didn't I tell you that I practically won a game with that card?
How so?
I believe it was against David, and he destroyed can't remember what card it was. He pretty much destroyed my out. Well, pretty much destroyed my tour guide.
Yeah.
Then or it was Fiend destroying, I'm not sure. Then since I wasn't like through summoning, I summoned Libic. No wait, I special summoned Libic to basically get that free summon.
Right.
And then overlay, and then I had the effects for like next turn with Farfar and all that.
Alright.
The one that I used still had its effects, so from that I went for pretty much game because he sized miss.
Yeah, the thing about Farf is that every time I think like I could cut this card, like I find another way to use it. It's just so versatile.
Yeah.
What I use it for mostly is if you want to get out Rubik and you've got something like a spare Terror Top, Libic can make sure it doesn't get destroyed.
No, that just makes it worse. I was hoping it would put the light on, hoping it would help, but
oh well. And we're saying the names.
Yeah.
The other way is like making sure you don't lose in a turn, because sometimes that's all you need to do is not lose that turn.
Yeah. And then you
Libic
pretty much have game.
help with that. Yeah. One Rubik. And because of cards like Ghost Reaper, I did get Ghost Reaper at this tournament. Only once. Well, it wasn't so bad, but yeah, because of cards like Ghost Reaper, Rubik allows you to make Virgil like a second sort of win condition. It's obviously not as strong, but you know, it means you're not just giving up on the engine because Dante got killed. 3 Scarm.
Standard.
3 Farfa. The wrong way around. 3 Scarm, 3 Farfa, and 3 Fiendish Rhino Warriors. The triple of the BAs, because Fiendish Rhino Warrior is
Pretty
in
much
fact
standard. Standard for what last format was.
1 Tour Guide, of course.
The most the card that should have got banned over any other card.
Tour Guide isn't even that strong, it's just because of BA.
And the amount of other decks you could run it in.
No other deck runs it except BA.
Archfiends though.
Oh yeah, that's true.
A lot
Fine.
of Fiend type decks do.
But I mean, like, Terratop does pretty much the same job, except for getting out a BA. 3 Terratop and Taki Tamborg.
Oh,
Same
that,
thing.
that deck though. Was it the Blue Eyes player?
Yeah.
Gale or?
Yeah, the finals. I special summoned Terratop. I special summoned it. He effect Baylor, and I was like, okay, Taki Tamborg in hand. Yeah. I didn't say effect. You play what you want to play.
You just abused it so much.
It didn't really matter in the end, but it's finals, you know.
You pretty much that almost leveled up to my honest Dark Planet. Not honest versus Manju versus Dark Planet. That was so funny.
Kaiju engine. I guess I should maybe explain a couple of decisions here. This is the best kaiju because it's dark. So what you do is you
I thought that one was the best. I thought Jizakura was the best.
that's the second best. You kaiju slumber 1 turn. You give them Gamma Seal. You take this guy, and then during your next turn, you banish for this guy, and then you Allure of Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. Like when you don't need a kaiju, Radian's your man, because you can just banish it with Allure of Darkness. Plus, there was a situation when I was at Nationals when somebody had Rivalry of Warlords up,
Mm-hmm.
or Golden Match, one of those, and I was able to tribute 2 BAs, summon Radian, and attack for game.
Yeah.
Game. Which was pretty nice.
He pretty much won because it was a fiend.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Since you've got this in your deck, you can play Kaiju Slumber if you've got like dead BAs on the field and they've got Golden Match or Rivalry on the field. And that's kind of a similar situation here. The reason you run this guy over the Thunder guy is because Golden Match, etc., over machines. So, for example, Clifforts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, the real reason you run this guy is because he's 33. It beats over everything, especially Blue Eyes cards. And like if you like Kaiju Slumber, you give them Gamma Seal, you take this guy. That's 1100 on the board. If you get rid of the Gamma Seal, that's 3300, and you only have to make up another 4700 damage.
If you're not barbared,
Yeah.
Danted.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like this card really helps you just like win games.
Didn't I try I'm trying to remember. Didn't I try a Phantom Knight Digibugs with Kaiju deck? Was it something like that?
Yeah, I never saw it. Didn't see it.
That was pretty fun. I might actually make it again because it was stupid.
You should. 2 Maxi because it's Maxi. Having it at 2 means you kind of even need to play it even more than before. Shadow Dragon.
Gotta love that card. Just because it's Shadow.
Yeah, it you can banish it with Allure if you don't need it. But but there are like three situations where you use this. The first is obviously turning Beatrice into MST, or Foolish Burial into MST, stuff like that. The second is, it's more important than Calcab because it can actually get rid of face-up cards, so you can pop scales, which is really important. Or field spells. I do a lot with this. Second thing is it doesn't really come up, but you can of course set it and then flip a card if you're in a really dire position. And then the third thing you use it for, which I actually did use it for during the LLDS, was just being a 19 beater. All your BA special summon themselves. You make like you cut a bunch of Dantes and then extra 19. That's game.
Yeah.
You can't underestimate the value of just having big cards just to go for a game, because that's what this deck does. More than any other deck, it can just go for a game when it wants to. 3 Pop Desires. I want to quickly say what my theory on Pop Desires in this deck, because a lot of people have incorrectly said that Pop Desires is not good in BA, and then lost.
Didn't you go down to like 4 cards in your deck?
I did, and then I won that duel.
Who was it against again?
The Cosmo guy.
David?
Yeah.
There was 2 Davids.
Yeah, and they were both playing Cosmo.
It's kind of hard to I can't even say it. Specific?
Yeah,
No.
specific, yeah. The Pop Desires. What Pop Desires does is it trades consistency for power. Now, BA have a lot of consistency, and what they really need is power, because they need to win fast, because they can't compete with late game pendulums or, for back when it was the Monarch matchup, they couldn't compete with Monarchs, just like sitting there making 2,800 and getting rid of a card each turn. They're consistent, but if they don't have enough power to like start winning the game, then they will lose eventually. You know, they will run out of Dantes to cycle.
Yeah.
So Pot of Desires trades consistency for power, which is important for BA, and it's why 6-Ams run it, because 6-Ams are really consistent but really lack the power to compete with competitive decks and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, this card is like something you could probably staple in pretty much everything.
Yeah.
But it's especially good in BA. I would hesitate before I put it in pendulums.
Mhm.
The other reason, of course, is that the only card that matters in BA, the only cards that matter in BA, one is Dante. Dante's in the extra deck unaffected by Pop Desires. The other card that matters is Seer. And like 8 cards in the deck fetch Seer. Tour Guide, Fiendish Rhino Warrior, Foolish Burial, milling it with Dante.
Yeah.
All these cards fetch Seer. And as soon as you get Seer, Pop Desires, it doesn't matter.
You forgot Graph?
No, Graph doesn't matter.
No, I'm saying Graph special Seer, that's another way to get Seer.
Yeah, another way to get Seer's Graph, yeah. But Seer's the only card that matters because it lets you bring back Dantes, which means you can then use those Dantes, A, to keep advantage, B, to make Beatrice, C, to make F-Zero.
I think we're running 0 F0.
Let's not go into that. 3 Allure of Darkness, because we run a bunch of Dark Monsters, and Allure of Darkness is a really good card.
And you abuse it so much.
Yes, and because Beatrice got caught, I found room for Libya. 1 Regeki. Yeah, I'm not going to explain that.
There's no need to.
Yeah. 1 Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. It's sometimes a board wipe. It did come up against the Blue Eyes matchup, but it's mostly so that next turn you can guarantee a Kaiju. Because Kaijus are like way more powerful than Regekis or Dark Holes or whatever. 1 Foolish Burial, the other BA card.
Always got to abuse it.
1 Soul Charge, obviously,
And
yeah.
I'm going to say interesting choice because I've seen a lot of BA decks that don't run it.
Really? Really?
Quite a lot of mine don't.
Don't understand. You go first, you make Dante, or 2 Dantes, you mill like 6 cards, you guarantee 2 monsters in the grave, you soul charge, and you make another Dante. Really,
But you can't attack that turn.
yeah, it doesn't matter if you go first. If you go first and you have soul charge, you can pretty much make a number.
Can you win a game just because of soul charge?
Yeah, I mean, like this kind of
It
annoying.
wasn't against Blue Eyes.
Yeah, it was against the Blue Eyes guy, who was like the finalist in the end up. Yeah, I just made like one Dante, milled a bunch of good stuff. I think I must have made the second Dante, but I'm not sure. I must have had Terror Top as well. Yeah, I made the second Dante and then brought back 3 cards. I ranked up one of my Dantes into Beatrice, and then I made another card, which pretty much meant he couldn't play anything. Like, by the end of his turn he had 1 card, he had nothing on field, and I still had all my cards. So.
Yeah, his one card was Melody of Awakening Dragon, I believe.
Yeah.
That card.
Yeah, no, he had a Melody, and I believe he had a
He
soul
had a
charge
white.
as well.
Yeah,
He couldn't do anything.
it was just what. It was just the other small stuff that was in his grave.
Yeah.
Nothing big.
Just go first, make Beatrice and win. Oh yeah, and 2 traps are Vanities and Solemn. I don't really like traps in this deck, but these 2 are just too powerful.
Vanities won you games though. I saw that.
Against the Blue Eyes player, like there was dueling, and then there was one of us would have Vanities, and the other player would not be able to play Yu-Gi-Oh. That happens like a lot. If he had a Blue Eyes on the field and he had Vanities, I couldn't play. If I had Vanities and a Dante and he didn't have anything on the field, then he couldn't play. Yeah. Solemn, of course, deals with stuff.
Yeah. Deals with pendulums.
Yeah. It deals with everything, and that's why you run it. 3 Dante.
Of course.
The Burning Abyss deck. 1 Virgil. You can bring it out with Beatrice and Rubik, and as I've said, it can help things. I didn't really go into it that often, but obviously you want it in case you do. Pilgrim, you go into this all the time with Beatrice.
Love that card.
Yeah.
Didn't you almost win a game with that? You lost 1 game with it?
No, I think the Blue Eyes guy again. I think I gave him Radiant. Yeah, and he crashed it into this. I sent a card from his hand to grave and discard and draw and bring back cards and everything. Cause I had this on the field after Beatrice, he couldn't gain me, and then I just ended up with more advantage and stuff. 1 Beatrice, it's good.
Always good. It's a BA deck. You run it.
Yeah, it is. It's really good. It's you need to be a bit more careful when you play it, but usually making it first is just good. You do just win if you do that. I had this at 1 before Beatrice got limited, and now I'm running it at 2, and I think I did actually go into a second one. So
you did go into it a lot. It was pretty much your go-to card.
Well, now that Blue Eyes is a big deck, this deck has problem with big monsters. Apart from, as I say, one of the reasons the Kaiju engine is better than the PK Fire engine is you've got big monsters that can deal with big monsters that BA can't, whereas PK Fire can only do things that BA can already do. Utopic Future is a card that does deal with big monsters. I think once I took his Tachyon Galaxy and attacked his Blue Eyes with it. But yeah, Utopic Future with Dantes and stuff is pretty broken. This won me game 2 in the finals. Was Giga Brilliant and Core Badge.
Interesting tech.
I think it's pretty standard, just because there's not that many options for rank 3s, but yeah. You make Giga Brilliant, you overlay it into Core Badge. It's like sometimes that's good just for making game if you've got too many monsters on board, but usually you just make this.
Do you actually have any more Giga Brilliants? I am looking to acquire them for...
I might have one at home, but I don't think it'll be hard to get.
I'm looking for one for Digibug's BA if I plan on remaking them.
That makes sense. Yeah, Corbage shuffles defense position monsters back into the deck. An interesting thing to note is that if this stays on the field for more than one turn, and you've used its effect, if you change it to defense position, it reattaches Giga Brilliant, and you can use its effect again. There are other ways I've used this. There was once at a locals many moons ago. I used this to shuffle back Gam Seal
Yeah.
that had been put to defense mode, search it out with Kaiju Slumber. I was running 2 back then, and get over the towers, the
Ultimate Falcon.
Ultimate Falcon, which was pretty nice. One Nightmare Shark. This actually won me a game, so the number of times I've used this has gone up to 1. But yeah, you need to run it because sometimes you win the game because of it.
And wasn't your didn't Darren ask you how you started packing up your cards and went, I win, or something like that, and Darren's just sitting there going, how do you win?
Yeah.
And then you just went, Nightmare Shark, and he goes, what? And then you just went, and a Nightmare Sharked him directly for game.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, that was a good laugh to see.
I know. The best thing, there's been situations where my opponent's been at 29 and I make Nightmare Shark with
Yeah, then Barbar. Didn't you Barbar first?
Nightmare Shark, yeah.
You Barbared first, then you went attack.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there going, no, the first thing you did was I think you made Dante detach Barbar. I was like, where is he going with this? And then you made Nightmare Shark. I was like, oh wait, there's a Nightmare Shark.
Yeah.
How much life points he's got? Oh, 2k. Oh, well, GG.
Yeah, that's why you need to run it, because like this deck has a phenomenal matchup against Cosmo, because this deck can just like win. There's so many ways to deal damage to you or get over your monsters and stuff. Like the Kaijus are just like anti-Cosmo cards all around.
And Raid Raptor.
Yeah. I did actually beat a Raid Raptor guy this tournament.
Oh yeah.
One Break Sword, one Grand Pulse.
The day this goes down will be the day heaven freezes over. No, wait, isn't the phrase hell freezes over?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, rank 3s need this because a lot of rank 3s are pretty weak or like do similar things, but this the first card they had that could out monsters, like properly out a monster if they were in trouble, so it comes up. Because it's dark, it works, I think I was getting right, I think it was Golden Match, I'm not sure, but I get confused, but whichever one is attributes, I was able to make this and pop it with BAs and stuff.
Yeah.
And then of course for the other one you can use your speedroids to make this because it's a machine. Grand Pulse is actually like 50 times better than Break Sword just because it's got a huge defense. You just you put that when you're against the spell and trap card deck, you make this card, put it in defense, blow up a card, then next turn do it again.
You pretty much abuse it.
Yeah. That's just how you beat random spell and trap card decks. Make this card, pop twice.
Didn't you beat Kieran's Yusenju at one point?
Yeah.
Using Grand Pulse?
No, definitely this deck should beat Yusenju's, but of course they are completely... You know, if they happen to open with a bunch of carded demises and stuff, but yeah, this deck should properly beat Yusenju's. One Levier, that's the other card I put in. I wasn't running it before because you run it in the PK version because you banish stuff and you bring it back and you get more value out of them, but I wasn't running it in this version because I didn't have space because Beatrice, but now I've got space, and obviously it's another route to F-Zero. It allows you to bring back Seer if it gets banished, or you can plan to banish it with Barber or Allure. And then you Levier. Levier brings back Seer. Seer dies. Seer brings back Dante. Instant F-Zero.
Yeah.
That's pretty much Levier's only function. Because if you're only making it in a situation where you would be going into F-Zero, I feel. I don't even think I made it the whole tournament. But
I think you did once. I saw him. I think I saw you.
There was one time where I would have wanted Acid Golem. Acid Golem would have been more valuable than Levier for the tournament, but I think I'd stick with Levier for the deck, obviously. And the final card, if you're not sure what it could be, is this. I love this card so much in this deck. It does.
Oh, you made that and you practically abused it.
Yeah, now that there's only one Beatrice, this card is even greater in my estimation. If you don't know what it does, once per turn during either player's turn, detach, put a face-up attack position monster you control to defense position. It can't be destroyed by battle or card effects that turn. Obviously, there are some ways that's useful. Not dying for a turn is quite nice. Saving one of your monsters that you want to keep, like maybe Beatrice, something like that. Surviving a Mirror Force, if you've got this on the field, you can like summon Rubik, and if Rubik would die, you just engineer Rubik doesn't die. But what this card is really for is because it's during either player's turn. It's like a mini Beatrice. You put some good BAs underneath it, like Farfa or Seer or Rhino Warrior or something. Then during your opponent's turn, you can use its effect on itself, and it's pretty much just the whole Beatrice Farfa your opponent's turn type deal. The turn where I made Soul Charge turn 1 to win the game, I made Beatrice and this guy, so I had like Farfa, Aelic and Calcab and stuff that I could activate. So yeah, you can't play against that.
Pretty broken.
I'll quickly go over the side cards. 3 effect failures. As I say, this deck wants to win as fast as possible, which means it doesn't have to floodgate your opponent so much as it has to stop your opponent getting going. Honestly, I thought Kieran might bring you Singes.
Yeah. I was not expecting Synchrons. I would have prepared for Synchrons, but I was like, no, he wouldn't do that. They're too TK based. He needs something to have the option of going, oh, I need cards.
Yeah.
Card the demise.
He did quite well with it though.
Yeah, anyway, top 4, he did pretty well.
Yeah, pretty well.
I really thought he'd do a better way Yusenja though.
Maybe. This card's obviously a good hand trap. In this deck, BAs like hand traps even more than other decks because of course they can't have back row, otherwise they can't special summon. Which is why I used to run Lancia, but now that Cosmos are dead and this deck already has a good matchup against it, not so much. 3 Twin Twister for when you feel like playing Yu-Gi-Oh but your opponent doesn't. 2 Book of Eclipse. This is because I put this in specifically because I thought someone was coming down who was running anti-meta Monarchs.
Yeah.
And if they've got March of the Monarchs and Vanity's Fiend on the field, then nothing in your deck is useful anymore. Like, the Kaijus, which are usually out anything, can't out that. So Book of Eclipse was for outing the very few things that I couldn't out. It's not so much a staple, but because this deck is so toolbox, I figure it's pretty good. It's pretty good for the deck.
Yeah.
3 Anti-Spell Fragrance, that's for auto-winning first turn against Pendulums. Yeah, pretty much.
You would have decided them against me, pretty much.
And what were you running again? The
Cyber Ranger.
I decided these in against you, yeah. It's a good card. Run it.
Run it in Cyber Rangers. Run it free in the main deck. Just don't care, do it.
2 Vanity's Fiend. That was... I didn't play it. I'm not one for playing Vanity's Fiend, but...
That was ultimate though. It's rare.
No, they're common and rare. They're
Mm.
pretty basic, but yeah, the idea is that the deck can make it easily with all your BA special summons. If you summon Vanity's Fiend and your opponent doesn't have an out to it, you usually just win. It's
Yeah.
like having 2 more emptiness in the deck. So yeah, this would have been for the Blue Eyes matchup, but in the end, I just beat him without them.
Didn't really need them much.
Yeah. Well, he kept it. He had Effect Veilers and Twin Twisters in the main, which don't do anything to me. So, Fire Lake, the Burning Abyss. This is pretty much just if you think your opponent's gonna ghost Reaper, you can put this in, and that means your BAs have slightly more value than they normally would because now they can like pop cards.
Yeah.
It's also like kind of MSTs, kind of more Twin Twisters because only if you're going first. This would be for going first, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's more outing stuff, and if you're getting Ghost Reapered.
Yep.
So yeah, that's the deck.
Yep. And there's his invite.
Yeah, there's the invite. Definitely legitimate invite and everything.
Yeah. Pretty nice.
Yeah. So yeah, BAs are the strongest deck. So I won with the strongest deck.
I almost got pretty close to getting top 4.
Yeah. Cool. That's cool. Good.
I did good.
You did good.
So that's the BA Kaiju deck profile then.
Yeah.
Hope you guys enjoyed.
BA, best investment in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Hope to see you all later.
Yeah.